And this is the Men of High Value channel. My name is Joseph Darling. Today we're discussing leverage. And this is a term that you need to remember in business because it's one of the most important terms in business, because you always want to continuously increase the leverage, okay, wisely in business. You want to continuously do highest leverage activities because that's going to give you everything in life that you desire. So let's get right into it. Who is Archimedes? Archimedes was a mathematician, a physicist in the year 200 AD, whatever, who said a very profound quote that you should remember if you can. And he said, I believe the quote is, "Give me a place to stand and a lever long enough and I will move the world." A lever long enough, okay? So we're talking about leverage here. So you basically imagine a rock, a big rock, and then you have a very long stick, a very strong stick, and you put that under the rock. And if it's very long and very strong, you will probably be able to push that rock, okay? So levers have been used in all sorts of ways in many, many different, for all of humanity, okay? And now we're trying to use it in business. So how does that look like? Well, leverage equals power. The one with the most leverage is the one who's going to win. So when we're talking about men of high value, we want to make sure that we are becoming the most powerful men that we can possibly do. Power means the ability to do. In order for you to get whatever it is that you want in life, success and abundance, etc., we have to increase our power. We have to increase our ability to do, which means we have to increase our leverage, okay? It needs to be done wisely. In business, leverage can look like, for example, if you want to buy real estate, you want to preferably buy real estate with someone else's money, right? You don't want to use your own money. If you use your own money, then that will be a low leverage activity. If you're using other people's money, that is higher leverage. Now, obviously, you can do too much leverage if you're not wise in how things work and you're not knowledgeable on the situation. But this is what Robert Kiyosaki talks about in terms of good debt. When you know what you're doing, then it's not risky. If you don't know what you're doing, then it's extremely risky, right? So our goal is to continuously increase our knowledge base and our wisdom so that we can continuously increase our leverage wisely, so that at the end, that will help us to get everything in life that we want. So a man of high value will only become a man of high value if he has leverage. So one point of leverage that you can call is the fact that you don't need anything or anyone, right? But you desire it all. So the person who don't need something in a transaction is the one that usually wins. He's the one that can bargain. He's the one that can basically say, no, I'm not really interested in this deal. And as a result, he's the one that's controlling the entire transaction, right? If you as a salesperson talk to someone and they do not want your product and you're like, no, but you really need it. Like, who has the most leverage here? The person who doesn't want the product, right? So you have to learn how to, or get to the point where you build up a strong foundation enough so you don't need anything from anyone because you have abundance already. So this is part of the happiness advantage that I always talk about in terms of achieving success. If you're already happy on your journey towards success, you don't need any one thing in order for you to be happy. And people are attracted to people that are happy. So if you're already happy before you're successful, you're probably going to become successful if you're trying to go in that direction. But if you're continuously depressed and struggling and blah, 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 and life is horrible, then people try to shy away from that because they've got a lot of enough negativity in their lives, right? So you become a low leverage person for them because you have no utility. You can't help them with anything if you're depressed and negative and all that stuff. But if you're happy, you're literally producing value. And that is leverage for other people, right? If you've got a group of 5 people and and you have one dude that's the most successful, the most useful, the one with the most money, the most resources, the most power out of those five, and you're one of those five dudes, who do you want to work with? Right? You want to work with the guy that has the most resources, the guy whose time is most valued, right? And that is the person that would give you the highest leverage in terms of cooperation, in terms of a win-win situation. Because if you can create something of win-win with that person, you now have created leverage for yourself, right? And hopefully you are the best person that he can work with so that you create leverage for him. This is business. Business is all about leverage, and you need to understand that concept because you might be spending your time right now on low leverage activities. What are some low leverage activities? I'll tell you, okay? Watching porn is a low leverage activity. Watching entertainment videos on YouTube is low leverage activity. Watching partying, okay? Getting a girlfriend is low leverage activity. Going to school, for crying out loud, is a low leverage activity. And your goal is to continuously improve the things that you are spending your time and money on, i.e. your attention on, and making that continuously a higher leverage activity, higher leverage use of your money, and higher leverage use of your time. Because the more that you are increasing the value of the things that you do and watch and spend time on and money on, the more value you're going to be yourself. This is what produces a man of high value, someone who continuously are doing valued activities and invest in valuable things and spends time with valuable people. Like, it kind of makes sense, right? Okay, so there's three things you need to have in business. What are some resources that we're trying to get? There's really only three resources: time, money, and wisdom. Okay, I'll just call it wisdom, but it's basically know-how or good judgment, right? The quote, success comes from good judgment comes from experience comes from bad judgment, right? So if we understand that this is all you've got in life right now, most probably a lot of you guys have no money, okay? It's possible. And you also have bad judgment. It's also possible. If your life absolutely sucks, you have bad judgment. Hopefully you're gaining experience from that so that you don't do stupid stuff again, so that you can begin to do good stuff and have good judgment, and that's going to lead you towards success, right? So how do you increase the speed towards getting towards good judgment? You need to fail faster, but in the right direction. Okay, so if business is what you want to do in your life, then you gotta move in that direction, okay, and fail faster, and fail again and again and again today, right? And become more aware of why you're failing. You're asking yourself, I don't know why I'm failing continuously, because that's what's gonna happen when you do something that you suck at. And in the beginning, you suck at everything business, right? So the only thing you have is your time, and what you've got is awful use of your time. This is why I tell everyone to participate in Men of High Value in the community that we have. And with my coaching, $99 a month, you gotta be freaking kidding me. Everyone should be participating. DM me at Men of High Value so that we can help you to continuously increase the value of your time usage. Let's increase the leverage a little bit so that you have higher leverage activities continuously until you are spending your time very valuably, if that's a word, in order for you to be useful for other people. This is why I always talk about the 80-hour work week, because the 80-hour work week will make you valuable. You know why? Because you're developing skills. You're learning, right? And in addition, you're actually hopefully saving money, okay? So that you have capital to invest in whatever business you want to create, or whatever courses or programs or things that you need to learn in order for you to become even more valuable. We're continuously trying to increase your value, but if you're not spending your time on high leverage activities and high leverage people, then you're going to continuously be in the bottom, okay? And spending time on low leverage activities and low leverage people, which is not going to give you anything of what you want, right? So Let me give you an example. What are high leverage people and low leverage people? Okay? High leverage people are people who have exactly what it is that you want. Do you know what you want? If you don't know, start making that list. What are your 50 dreams? Okay, sometimes I say 100, but I'll tell you 50 dreams, write them down. What do you want? What do you want to become? What do you want to create? Right? What do you want to have? Write those things down. The moment you have written that list down, you begin to look into the world and see who has that. Who has those things that I want on my list? Those are the people you need to think like. Because you're not that person who can attract those things that you want yet. So you need to spend more time just listening and observing and understanding the thinking of those that actually have the things that you want. Okay? Those people that have what you want are the highest leverage people in your life. Okay? So an entrepreneur who really understands the game, he'll be like, Elon Musk is the highest leverage person that I'm interested in becoming like. So the highest leverage, person is that guy, but you can't reach him. It's impossible to reach him. So you need to focus on the next level. Like, who's 100 steps ahead of me that I can spend time with, who is a higher leverage person than I am, that I can learn from and become like, and then I'll continuously take the next steps and get a new mentor upon new mentor, new mentor, new mentor. This is the fastest way towards getting everything in life that you want. No, you're not going to be able to work together with Elon Musk, right? But he's the highest leverage person if you're trying to become an entrepreneur. So if he gave you an opportunity to work with him and spend time with him, holy crap, you'd take that, right? A low leverage person would be someone who is bringing you down, right? Who is basically taking you in the direction opposite to where you want to go. That would be the lowest leverage person, right? An example of that would be, for example, a beggar in Africa. Hey, I sometimes get DMs of people begging me for money from Africa, because they're struggling and all that stuff. And I understand their predicament. It's difficult. The first thing I tell them is like, what skills do you have that you could market? I'll help you market your skills online, all right? But you need to have some skills. And the way to get skills is to very often get 3 jobs or work for free for someone online so that you can gain their trust and then develop a skill that way in order for you to work for them, and then they'll eventually pay you, right? But no, he's just begging. And that's a completely massive low leverage time usage for me, okay? When I have a million other things to do, to be chatting with this guy and saying, oh, can you please help me? Like, for him to communicate with me in that matter is like, it's a complete waste, right? So don't be a low leverage person, be a high leverage person for everyone around you when people come to you because you have something to give them. You have something to offer them. You are valuable. That's leverage, okay? So the more leverage you can create for other people because you're useful, the more leverage you're going to get in return. And that's what's going to create the abundance that you desire. Does that make sense? Okay, so the entire goal we're trying to do is we're trying to solve problems here. So who are the people in your life that has the highest amount of leverage that you can create a win-win situation with, so that you both benefit from the transaction, whether that's the time and money investment that you're putting together, or the fact that you're benefiting in some sort of way from the wisdom that you guys share with each other. Leverage. Okay? And right now, if you only have time, then use time wisely, because that's all we really have. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.